Okay. Hello. It's been a while. Um, Saying some of this for people that view afterwards, since we're only a few seconds, nobody's here right now. um, but it's been a while since I've been on here. I know I said that, but anywho, pardon me. um, to use a real, speaking of aging, and that's part of the thing. See, just want to get a little bit out of the way before I do some music. It's a little bit of a, I don't know, you could call it a self pep talk, and it's also just randomly stating because you might want to know. Um, I don't know. Basically, it's pretty rainy, I didn't think it was supposed to rain today, but it looks like it could potentially be pretty rainy out today. Um, and I had a plan in the evening. It's been canceled. That's fine. Um, I have a busy upcoming number of days. Um, but today and tomorrow are feeling fairly uncertain for sure. Um, I can kind of almost foresee how one thing's going to happen tomorrow. I don't, even if I was not super specific, I might talk about that later. Um, however, I don't know if I've ever seen tomorrow spelled that way. Um, and I know I have that song in one of the books actually. But yeah, so basically, but I slept pretty well. And so, part of me thought, oh, go back to sleep, and you know, I had to get up briefly as part of my routine, but I could totally go back to sleep. But the sun's trying to come out. I did sleep well. My back's been a bit sore. My hip was a bit tender and sore, which is a bit unusual. Um, I guess I'm just trying to be more hip. I don't know, but it 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 started to feel a bit better. So I think it still does. I don't know. I haven't moved around that. I haven't. Yeah. Anywho, um, but um, it has been pretty good in front of me, not getting too hyped up yet. Although I do think that I will want to get up and go to the piano in a moment. And all I had to do was move, and that stirred him. um, something like a bowl of baking or pot. Please relax, okay? I don't know how much more coffee I want though because I don't really need the energy today. And in fact, that's true. I think I put the morning blend in which case it's going to hype me up. Not that caffeine doesn't anyway, but it's interesting actually. My friend asked, would I be caffeinated enough? I don't know why. Well, um, it wouldn't be quite as early as she was initially thinking, but we've kind of firmed that up a bit. But she says, would I be caffeined enough for a certain time? I mean, hey, and maybe she's thinking of herself, but she's got, even though she has a meditation practice in the morning, she's got a pretty active lifestyle. I don't think she has as much time to be tired or to slow down, and a lot of people don't, right? But it's interesting that she asked that of me because it's kind of like, I don't know. Sometimes I'm messaging her, and she knows that sometimes I'm not sure who's message, but it is connected to what we're talking about, and um, basically, I guess I thought that it would probably seem to her as if I am quite energetic in the morning, whether I'm podcasting, messaging, whatever. But I'm not exactly. I'm not exactly. I just kind of pretend to be. So I'm just gonna put. I don't want to go off screen, but I really don't want to be carrying this laptop around either. It's a borrowed device and it's a replacement. We've had a couple difficulties with it, but it's still essentially new. And man, that's just chaotic. Don't want anything to happen to it. I like so. Yeah, I wasn't falling back asleep. I still don't think I could, but I'm hoping at some point today, if it clouds up again. And I'm not feeling as stiff then maybe. And as far as chores, yeah, I don't want to do those right now either. I don't have to do them now, although the laundry, we're just looking for my shoes. I think I know where they're at. The laundry, and that's not my cup, and I wouldn't want to drink it because it uses whitener, and that's gross. The would have to be done today. Probably today would actually be best because we may be. It's always one of those things like, how do you manage, right? We may be without water tomorrow for a bit, and possibly Thursday, but hopefully not. Well, actually, I'm going to be away some of Thursday. So, anywho, was there something else I wanted to do? Yeah, I just thought I might want to have these shoes. There was some of them for like a few seconds. Okay. You know what? I'll close this. Hopefully that doesn't go well. 2 weeks late, but there you have it. I think the dog will settle down. Although I must admit, I'm going to be I'll openly say, and you know what? It's some people would call it brave, and I guess it is. Nobody's here to hear me say that preliminary or whatever the word is. Yeah, I don't know whether the one we gave you the other day is any, but hopefully you won't ask for one. But that was only 6 minutes. Wow. But I just have a feeling you're going to be noisy in the background. I just have a feeling, Sonny. I also wonder if I might actually want to take one of these. Oh, these things are stupid. Sorry, not to get your hopes up. I'll give you one of those small ones. Because I really need to put this down for just a moment. Ooh, that was close. Okay, right. Okay. You won't distract me. Doesn't mean I won't get distracted, but he won't be doing it. Okay. Oh. Ooh. And also, okay. I just worried that might be too bright. I'll keep flavor for now. Rinse. I did that in a bit of a funny order. What can you do? But I feel like it's not bright enough in here. I'm just gonna try putting on the living room light. Does that help? I think it does a little bit. It helps enough. That I think is going to be too bright in my face, and I can see it's my chicken scratch, or as they call it, it's my scribbles and my scrabbles. Just kidding, but yeah. So it's a rough version of a couple of songs. Actually, this first one I'm going to do I just wrote yesterday, so I'll do that one. Then the other one was a few days prior to that. And I played it through, and then I was going to come and podcast it yesterday, but we were having some sort of issue with both video playback, but also getting it started because it couldn't find the mic. There's different ways you can do that, but you can adjust that. But it wasn't like, do you want to allow, your mic and this and that? It just that never showed up. But today, without any difficulties. Now, and I didn't really look at it after that. I kind of put it away, annoyed, and didn't come back to it. Now, I do realize a certain thing. But I'm rolling. I'm now rolling, if that's not obvious. And so I don't think I'd be able to kind of adjust it in the moment. And I kind of like it. So Anyway, but I'm not gonna like to sit here for too long at this particular seat. I'm just gonna put a little note here. In case I do decide to do some guitar, but I probably won't because I don't really have ideas unless I get some. Good boy, Sonny. It's just I moved it just recently, so I probably would remember. But okay, so anyway, without any further ado, because there is the hope that this will do very well during, and there's so much on YouTube that's true, but hopefully this will be noticed and do well. Or after is okay too, but during is even better. And that I might get motivated to roll longer and do more music and such, and just have a real good time, and it'll wake me up a little bit. So nobody's here now to hear this, but actually just tuned in, so welcome. Just about to start this original song now. Like I say, I'm being brave. I'm going to. It's fairly recently written, but and I guess it's not really fully chorded, but truth be told, in the person left, truth be told, it's maybe a bit more for the lyrics. I kind of think I'm pretty repetitive with the chords. That being said, although 3 of the chords are ones I commonly go to in this order and without the G, not as often. It'd be perfect since that guitar is actually missing the G string right now. But I don't know how it sounds, and I haven't played guitar in a while. And I noodled through this originally on the piano. Okay, the dog's laying over there though. That's good. Although I am wondering, should I go over there with the guitar and do that because my back's already getting sore. But I did take the thing. So anyway, here we go. Do you actually, it is a weird lyric, actually. Well, actually, no, it's not, maybe. Okay, so. Sometimes the days are pretty much over. You only, I ask you who you're gonna reach out to. You just want to sleep, stay in bed, but the thoughts that seep to your head. But you can't alone, so pick up the phone and ring-a-ling-a-ling, ring-a-ling-a-ling. Days are gonna pick up, I'm in pick up, need to hear your pain. We're both living on this plane. Human beings. Good thing I can do things with vocals, because doing chords is not my strongest suit, but anyway. Sometimes I'm calm, usually my head's spinning, spinning. I wonder if it would be better if I was spinning. The only word to find is those that I had. Again. And the person was at the last 2 lines. Oh, but either came back or somebody else is here. So I have one other rough song that I wrote the other day. It's probably not even a full song, but I can do it. We got 2 of you here. Welcome. And if you have a song request, I can do my best to fulfill it. I will say, and you both laughed. So I won't say, because why waste my energy? I almost think, I feel like I should be doing morning stretches, but I'm no expert. I was going to watch a thing, but I still remember that breathing she did, and it was kind of, get it out of my head. No, I mean, it could be, I don't know. I don't know. Now this one is chorded too, in a similar but different way, ironically. You know, pen, paper, letters. That's where it's similar. But one note is a different note. And that's actually just kind of happened like that. And like I say, this was written a few days before. And I don't know why it says do it on the cell is the only way, because that's not true. Oh, right, the new cell, which is not available at the moment. It's not my not my phone. Neither this is my laptop, but I'm being allowed to borrow it. But it is at home. But the other devices are too old for that kind of stuff. As we get old, we start to know that phrase quite well, don't we? Okay, good. Maybe be good boy. Okay, so we got. I was just talking about the dog there. Okay, so I'm going to do this next song. It's again a rough new one, and the viewer left. Now, one thing I guess I will say though, because when you post a rough half song, is a perfect time to say it. I don't mind if somebody adds to it, as long as we're giving we're giving credit. And I would prefer that be not under the name GNC, but under our actual name. But I don't know how to put that here. So, but and it's fairly easy enough to. But yeah, I would do the same for you. So even though we don't know each other. So anyway, I am finding that I can't hit this seat much longer. So what I might do is I'll do this song and then I'll go over there, I think. Because yeah, I'm cramping up, man. I'd also love to have the door open because it is kind of cool out, but there's also a lot of damp air. There's also a lot of damp air. I think okay. And oh, that one really good. So, even though we did have a nice compliment from our neighbor, it took 7 years. But then again, there's been times where I've been a gap in music, and she probably doesn't. Or the door's been closed for today. So, anywho, there's others who are lonely sometimes, even if they have yet to tell me lately. So I said, rough version of a new song. I welcome your ideas for lyrics on this thing. In some ways, to be looking at the old me. How are you? There are others who are still stuck. Keep thinking about that. La 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 la. 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 Time drags on, it doesn't always fly as you want it to. Inside. And it says like la la la's, but I don't think that's what I meant to put. But maybe that's a good opportunity. Not that there's anybody watching at the moment, but for after the fact, you can like, comment, subscribe, and if there's something that you like and it fits that theme, I don't know, yeah, then you can put it. Dog been good in the kitchen. I hate to get up because he might, but I already gave him a treat, so hopefully it'll be good. Whoops. Okay. So that was kind of all that I had planned musically at the moment. I'll open the door without that much. We do have somebody that just tuned in, so welcome. Yeah, I just did a couple of original songs, and now I'm just going to kind of come back over to the couch because it's better on my back, and the viewer left, so hopefully they come back. But, yes, when it's quiet, it's not exactly motivating or engaging. But and I don't always sit down with such a old person grunt. I mean, I'm 38 for goodness sakes, but I feel older. But and there's a part of me, and I know the dog just settled down again, and it's harder to get there this way. I should actually do something with this before our guests come. What they're gonna think? What kind of nuts dogs? This kind. I need to put this down for a moment instead of trying to balance it like a tray of food. And I kind of feel like, oh, yeah, I'd like to have this door open for a little while, to be quite honest, but things that we know go on. But I think I will for a little while. That's a bit of light in here. Till I do music again. Oh, make me wanna listen. That's actually an idea. Maybe a few of them, even if it's a mild trigger, because of an ex and because of opportunities I didn't get. But maybe it makes sense that I didn't. Because it wouldn't have been easy for me to do. Well, interesting chords: E, G, E, G, C, G sharp, E flat rather. Yeah. I don't know about that song, but maybe some of his others. First name isn't huge a trigger, maybe a little bit. Last name, kind of. And yeah. Yeah, I'm thinking maybe not, but I did just see another thing here. It's all the way over here, I think. And of course, I just sat down. But I learned a song recently. Should I do it a cappella? It really feels weird to do that as somebody who does play instruments. But like I said, that one guitar is missing a string. The dog, if I'm not explaining it well, our dog, he is fairly, watching, he is fairly, he's kind of a follower. He's my number one follower, actually. Actually, I mean, most of us that have dogs might say that, actually, but no, seriously, he likes to get up when I do and follow, and so he's even hard to kind of just walk past, because he looks at that as okay, you're going to the kitchen, or where are you going? It's kind of nice and that, but it's also kind of annoying. But then it's kind of funny because sometimes I'll only briefly get up to go get something in the other room, and then I'll come back, and then he'll settle back down. But I just don't know if I feel like getting the guitar. I do have another one, but I don't know. I don't even know where that device is. Although I was using it earlier today. Here it is. I don't know if the tuner thing I have, and I don't know what other one I might install if it works. I almost kind of remember it being wonky last time I tried to use it, and at the moment it's being slow to open, so that might have been what it was. It's been a while. Gibbs, where's the on? Anywho, but and I have a feeling it might need tuning. Oh, and it's true. A lot of these other songs, River Trigger, that I have open like the chords of, are ones I came across browsing the other day that I don't really know, and I haven't really listened yet, so I still don't know them. But there is one I've listened to a couple times, and I almost want to do that one. Wish I could remember how the first part goes though. How many lives? That would be we're playing. I've been searching something that can't be explained for something that can be attained. Searching for someone to show me the way. Tell me it's okay to do my suffering. So I look within. I find myself anew. Let the light shine through in all the things that I do. If darkness fall, call upon this light. Remember that my heart was touched when I felt that Shantira, as I look into the eyes of love. I look into the eyes of love. Basically, I haven't listened to it just today. It was a couple of days ago though, so I'm not remembering how the verses really go. I'll keep it open. I might come back to it later. Um, Music glass, eh? Um, I really do. I really do want to look up. Um, there's an artist whose song I know quite a bit of, but I still find organic music with us in a pocket. I do find that when I look at her stuff, there are some things that I've not ever heard of hers. So I might want to check one of those out. It wasn't going to be on this, but I do have a bunch of things to work out. Not 70. Um, up to there is probably about 10 or 15, and then another 30, 40 at most. um, so I've kind of done. First time I've heard about that on the radio, and I kind of wish I was hearing it more. But again, the dog thing, he's laying right in front of me practically. Um, and kind of the fact that I just sat down recently too. Um, so there is that. Um, but I'd really just be talking to Phil Dead Air at this point, in the hopes that somebody may tune in. Um, and I don't really have anything else much to say, so I don't know. But I'm happy that technology is behaving, and I'm remembering how it feels kind of nice and neat now that to podcast. It's just I'm you know I do these live. Maybe some people upload afterwards. I do these live, and I really appreciate the engagement, whether it's someone I'm familiar with or someone else. Um, Nice when it's on topic, or yeah, basically, I don't know. It's nice when it's nice conversation, and usually it is. But it's been pretty quiet. I mean, I have rolled half an hour. It's true. Not as much breeze coming through the screen doors as I thought there would be. Um, but welcome to the person that just tuned in. Let me catch you up on what you missed, or not, as you left. Am I wrong? People don't like to be welcomed in, like when they can see that it's live. You know, do people not like to be welcomed? What else can I say besides you're welcome? Let's put something as a reading list, but I don't know how I did it. I don't know where it is. And I don't know what it was. Because I'm just saying and asking that I do notice that fairly often, but I'm not and I'm not sure why that is. It kind of surprises me, to be honest. Well, if I want to roll for just a little bit longer, just to kind of, you know, I know this is too careful, but truth is, I never really know, and I don't have to be super specific as to when. Um, and there's nobody here watching anyway, but it might be good for myself to do too, just to look back at. I don't know. Probably don't need to, but just in case, kind of thing. I feel like kind of talking through the week a little bit. Tonight's plan was canceled, and it's understandable, and it's fine. Although it was kind of my only for sure plan of the day, so that's kind of. I mean, I can do a couple chores, woohoo! But so that's and I was curious, and I always enjoy it, but I think probably for the best before the best. And then Wednesday, tomorrow, we're supposed to have an installation of something. We were supposed to be sent an email with some options to pick from based on a sample that we showed, which was not available in the store or not available for delivery at least until the end of the month when we really would we should have done it long before now, to be honest. We want it before that. um Sorry, who? um Anywho, I don't want to kind of take chance with as you space, which also the display name, the display now displays a street name. It's weird, but would be handy if he's out on board. um so just before she's here, I don't, just in case I say something he doesn't like it, then it gets back to her, and they don't like it, and whatever. Um, but I'm already forgetting. Aside from the bike thing, what was the other thing? Oh, that, which is a bit of a, I mean, something everybody uses, but it's a little awkward. Um, but it would make a lot of sense. So I did a couple of original songs. I'm open to doing more music in this. I've got some time, but I'm just kind of talking through my week a little bit, and the viewer left. But you know what? Even when it isn't as personal, sometimes that happens. And maybe it's not personal, maybe it is. But anyway, I don't know. That phone's over there. Um, so yeah, I just want just want it to be known that I did do a couple original songs on this. So okay, you know, I'm not just sitting here doing stuff on my device and random rambling. At the moment, I am, but Um, but I mean, well, the item is semi-heavy, and I was just thinking, um, but it would be possibly easier and just this and that. And if it's not Walmart, I mean, but I have but I don't know. I just don't want, I think my mother's a bit more. I mean, not that he wasn't, and not that some people aren't, but it's a hard thing to be patient. And I just feel like the person I'm going to be with on Thursday might be more willing. Although the other thing should be quick. It really should be quick. Um, Maybe if we have to wait for a salesperson and then I just kind of, well, I don't know if they take e-transfer payments though, and I don't have that much. Even if it was to spend the money, which I'm saving for other stuff, I don't have that much. I wish we would have thought that through a bit better. Well, maybe we could talk about for Wednesday morning. Um, Even though I don't know if it's going to be raining when he comes home from work, and that's maybe kind of inconvenient. But although if I get that check and I sign it and give permission to deposit it, anyway. Sorry, I'm just talking. So I did a couple of original songs. I'm open to doing and whatever. Then that would be fine. I mean, I don't think somebody. Well, but unless it's well, I don't check. Well, then it just wouldn't go through. And it's not. And I can also prove things that show that I'm not going to account. So that would work if I get that. Um, that's another option. So I have to get that phone in a moment over there, and I'll do that uh, because and if they do send us some options and we've already went to a store and bought, then we could say we've already got it. Just please come and install it, and hopefully it doesn't take more than a couple hours. Because I can improvise and I before, but yeah, as far as yeah, and then Thursday show, and I'm going to possibly still do that errand unless I do it Wednesday, Friday show and a visit, and then Saturday show. Got something kind of going on locally that's going to be keeping me pretty busy. But the viewer was here for just a brief moment. But yeah, and that's the other thing. It's not exactly motivating. I mean, maybe people enjoy this afterwards or whatever, and this and that. I mean, whether it's personal or not, or oops, something came up, or I think I want to watch this later, but not right now. I shouldn't even be on YouTube. I need to get other stuff done. I'm at work or whatever it is. But yes, luckily I work for YouTube. No, no, I don't. I'm just making a joke. Although might not be a bad job. I don't know. Anyway, but anyway who? So yeah, so that. But I have some time today, and I have some time tomorrow. And some of the, I thought they were going to say, anyway, yeah, they could have. Thankfully, they didn't because they would probably be joking, just like I was. But I wouldn't know for sure, right? Anywho, but so yeah, I kind of want to do more, but the radio's on kind of. Well, it's not that loud, but it might be noticed in here. Um, I don't know. I don't really. That is it. I mean, it's not a lot of breeze coming through that here, but there's a bit of one. Um, I just don't really have any other ideas other than what I've done in this for this podcast. But I welcome them, whether it's a song or a topic. Um, but yeah, what's been common and popular in this particular video is people, whether it's the same person or not, I don't know, because it's just a number flashing at the top. It's been a flasher at the top, flashing their top. Just kidding. Well, that's here though. And you know what? Kids know a lot of stuff right now. But about the world and probably heard statements like that before. Anywho, but yeah, like for a few seconds, here and there, and yeah, they say I'm here to do musical suggestions, um, topic suggestions. Yeah, so and as soon as I say it, and if it's the same person, it's head games that I don't need. I mean, I'm thankful in some ways that that I usually don't get it in the comments, and I appreciate that, and I don't deserve that, and you deserve better than to do that. Let's say that. How's that for a statement? But I do sometimes wonder, and there's no way to know for sure if someone's just doing it just to be funny, or every few minutes I'm going to just pop in. They might be doing it out of curiosity, see what he's talking about at that particular moment if it interests me, or they might be like just to kind of make him feel like somebody's there. But then if they're only doing it for a few seconds, it doesn't really achieve that. And yeah, it could be head games or yeah, which I'm not here for. No, I'm here to put out quality content and have quality interactions with people, and to the best of my ability. Um, and it can be an enjoyable. Nobody's here right now to hear me say it. Unfortunately, this great statement which I'm about to make, but these could be so great. I mean, some of them are. Some of them are. Let's not forget that. But part of me thinks some people could say, well, if you're relying on the viewers to what I say, make the content worthwhile or whatever. I mean, I did put a bit in, and I'm not the only one that does that either. Um, you would think. I mean, there's lots on YouTube. That's the thing, and that's why sometimes when things are quiet, that could be why, because there's just so much to see on YouTube, and attention spans and such and such. But it, it I mostly still think it shouldn't be too hard. And then and that it makes fine sense. But yeah, I don't know. But yeah, this morning, like I said, I decided I wasn't going to get back to sleep, and I didn't really want to do the chores. And I kind of had the idea of posting those originals, and I'm sitting in the room, and I'm sitting and I'm thinking, what do I want to do? I'm awake. What do I want to do? And I thought, oh, come on, YouTube. So here I am. And somebody heard just up to, what do I want to do? Oh, okay. And they're like, good idea. Just kidding. Sorry. But, one thing I'll put here, in case people notice it afterwards. Hmm. Um, I'm just in the middle of writing a song. Well, things were quiet here for a little bit. And I really haven't gotten super far. But if you'd like to collab with me, we can. I just want to. A be wow. Uh, um, so I'm just in the middle of writing a song, which I might share, which I probably will share after, like during this, before I wrap up. And actually, I just kind of put a word. I think mostly that songs should rhyme, and the viewer just left. Like you wrote a song and you've only put a word. You should have a bit more to it before you come on here. Which, because they were there for like a few seconds, which is not the full statement. Not the full statement. So I'll work through the alphabet since I can't ask you. First I saw those comments, I thought there was some. Sometimes the indicator isn't accurate, or it doesn't stay accurate, but the person isn't left. A B opportunities. Opportunities. Um, so I'm just working on an original song. And I've got enough to share it now. It kind of was spur of the moment. The only thing that I don't have is chords. I kind of hear a tune in my head, but I don't know what chords go with it. So I'll go to the piano and we'll see what we can do. Yeah, I seem to do pretty well in the songwriting department when it's kind of spontaneous. Um, and then while I can still locate it and make sense of it, not just not like the content, but like if it's handwritten, um, especially, I like to do it while it's fresh. So fresh out of the oven is this song. It needs a title, probably needs another verse. I may have actually just came up with the chorus as well in the viewer left. So like that's nice. Sayonara. I should throw some marinara at you. It would look a certain way, wouldn't it? Sorry. That sounded funny. But what can you do? What can you do but sound funny sometimes, right? You know what's interesting, actually? Dare I say, is that the idea that, okay, I'm going to have to put this down for a moment. I step on that damn ball again, the dog's ball. Like, why are you stepping on a ball? I'll step on that ball. It isn't raining at the moment, though. I'm rolling, so I'll do this much and then I might wrap up. Then it's been about an hour. If nothing's happening here in an hour, it probably won't. I was kidding. Probably won't during anyway. And some videos are just like that, aren't they? So the tune idea that I kind of got for this, if I'm being honest, is we should probably give them as much notice as we can, but I'll be done this in a moment. is similar to the one I was looking at a few minutes ago, although, like I said, I didn't remember the verses. And yeah. Better never get her style. Sunny G and Ray and now so many others and their smiles. Da, 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 da. Need to know. Okay. Something to be good in a new place that more. Need to know what I'm here for. Think of many, but I need the opportunity. So I get down on my knees and ask the sky. You need a little help today. You don't need to ask why. You know, you know, you know, you know, you know. But you're far away, I know, I know, I know, I know. You know, you know, you know, you know, you know. Far away, I know, I know, I know. Oh, we got a like. We got a like. And that without somebody it's saying that there's somebody viewing. But that must be on delay. But we got a like. So I should keep rolling. Let me just move this here and see. Um, yeah. Because I had the lyrics kind of to the one side of the screen, but I could see the indicators, and I don't think it said that anybody had came in. But we got a like, so somebody tuned in. So thank you. You know what's interesting, actually, by the way, also, is that those chords that I just used actually happen to be the chords that I used in the first song that I did. But yet it sounded different to me. So make sense of that. I'm just going to turn the AC off, and I don't know how much other music I'm going to do. I'm just going to also do some commenting. It's not indicating it's at the top, which that feature has been working because I've seen it been indicating before, but at the moment I don't. So unless it was very briefly, somebody just very briefly popped in, and I shouldn't be admitting to that, right? Because but now there's two of you here. So should I do that again? That song? I think I will. It's an original song. I just ran through it. One of you, or possibly both of you that are here right now, didn't hear it because you just got here or just heard the latter part of it. And then it goes to 0. So that's motivating. You were watching. But yeah, so, but let me just touch on that for a moment. I'm going to come over here where it's more comfortable again for a moment. And let me just touch on the whole idea of people scrolling by and quickly giving it a like, but not sticking around. So I might have some feelings on that. Basically, in no particular order, my feelings on it are, one, I do appreciate it. I do appreciate if somebody decided to, saw something that they liked, even if it was just in a few seconds being here, or heard something. um, or simply just showing their support. I guess what I would say is that is valid, and it shows. Um, I'm not wanting to necessarily say anything bad about those that don't do so, but I would say that it shows their character, for lack of a different way to say it. It shows that they're supportive, a supportive person, and that they have good taste, to be quite honest. Um, and I just realized that that radio is on louder than I meant to, and just like when doing um, a voice chat or something, and sometimes it starts talking just because I paused for 5 seconds. It's like I wasn't finished yet. Um, and if a David that works in mental health is watching this, I'd like to talk with you about something because I might be familiar with you and I'd like to. I think that well, although that conversation should have happened a long time ago, but no, it yeah, but no, it yeah. Anywho, the thing is that I am feeling like I'm having to talk more rapidly than I usually do to hopefully cover up the radio so that it's not a problem that is being heard in this. It's not that loud, but if I wasn't talking, it would be. And I, at this point, kind of before I started, but especially now, but I'll do it, even if I'm not feeling 100% because that doesn't exist, but I am feeling like I need to slow down, and so these two aren't gelling well together. Um, but somebody did just tune in. It's been kind of ebbing and flowing with this one, but I'll give it a moment. No, you know what? I think I'm gonna turn that radio down and possibly the AC up. I know the dog keeps telling down, but then you know what? Maybe I'll just wrap up because they didn't stay. Keep hoping they will. And in fact, if I had this on, yeah, because it's damp here, and honestly, it's not. I don't know. If I had that on, it might be okay having the radio on. But I've noticed it a few times in this one, and it definitely is annoying. Um, and most of them aren't giving a like, and I demand to know why. I'm just kidding. So I was just making a funny voice there. That's another thing that I could do in videos. I'm just quickly sending something to somebody very quickly, but I could do. I'm not a expert impersonator or impressionist would be the word, I guess, of like famous people or whatever. But I think I could do all right in a lot of cases. That being said, I have been kind of out of the movie loop, I could say, for a while. Um, I almost could have been in one, but it wasn't my type of film. But with John Travolta. Uh, but if you're like, oh, I hate him. Well, it didn't say I was in it. I don't know much about. I mean, I know he was in Grease. I know he was in Hairspray. Um, and some movie about dance. Well, not that those two aren't. And I know I should know more. I should know more. But that's an example of where, like I say, but in my day, I I used to see quite a bit of movies, and in fact, I almost watched one the other day of his. But then it was kind of like I knew that that opportunity to have been in that movie had passed, or it wasn't one I was going to explore, and but yet it was kind of being filmed very nearby, and I just didn't like the theme, and so that kind of made me kind of want to avoid watching that movie. Um, but I couldn't impersonate him even if I can't dream, even if I try. Yeah, lyric aside, anyway. Um, but now I want to watch. Maybe I should brush up on some celebrity impressions, watching other people do them, get an idea as for ones I might want to do, and then. But then I don't. Um, I wish I could do so. I'm just kidding. In some way or another, just kidding. um, Anywho, yes, it's been kind of I mean, yes, that one like was appreciated, but it's otherwise been kind of unmotivating. I want to kind of work past certain numerology reasons, and then a day I shall call it. I wish. I feel bad. I was in a bit of a one because of the weather, knowing the other person in the house had to bike to work. Um, Although it wasn't as concerned. It's like it's not raining that much or whatever. Like it looks like it was. It still looks sticky out there. This and that. Um, I did make a decent breakfast. I guess I was like I could say a little bit stiff and achy. Um, I knew it was going to be a long day, and it's not the days I'm looking forward to in the week yet. And so, and I, and the only thing that I could think of to do, although here I am doing this, which was one of the plans. I don't know. I didn't really know how long it would be, but I knew that I was only going to do a couple of originals, which wouldn't have taken very long. But I'm not surprised that I'm still rolling. I'm really not, because I have the time to, and I'm curious. Curious to do so. Uh, but basically, only because I was curious. He didn't ask. I was curious. But yeah, so basically, but I otherwise mostly don't anymore. But anywho, basically, and I don't know what else. Yeah, I mean, those are good enough reasons, especially when you're kind of feel like in your life anyway. It's like, oh, it's just another day of that. Um, which is why I'm really looking forward to the upcoming days. Um, kind of get out of and yet into myself in some ways, and just kind of just yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. So, what did I say? The only other thing I could think of was chores, and but I half did the one the other day. I just had the rest of the stuff to put away now, and yeah, it'll be fine. It'll be fun, yo. But yeah, so yeah, but I want to remember that that is maybe something I should do depending on this. I mean, I kind of do, but I want to make sure we're confirming that first. Some things are still up in the air. Some things are confirmed. Is what I'm saying. But I think I'm going to wrap this up now. I had looked up a song. Oh, there it is. Okay. Um, yes, I think I'm going to wrap this up in just a couple minutes here. Um, unless it really kind of, I hope not, unless it really kind of pumps up, for lack of a better, different phrase, the appreciation. It's gotten cloudy again, so and I am kind of tired and physically feeling a bit better than when I woke up. So sleeping soon is sounding appealing. Um, but if there's a song you'd like to hear first, or a topic you'd like to talk about, and the beer left. I really, don't need to exert my energy here for more of that. The other day I was looking up some songs, but I don't think, or I was looking up an artist, but I don't think that I have had anything to do there. So I hope everybody's doing well today and this week. Wow, what is up with that? Somebody tunes in for a few seconds, long enough to say, I hope, long enough to hear, I hope everyone's doing well today, and then they leave. Let me just touch on that for a moment. I think I touched on the other thing again. I appreciate it, but it's nice when it's longer and specific. But there is still value. That does not mean that it could mean that the person that liked that didn't stick around did see or hear something they liked. They just weren't able to stick around at the moment. Um, Comments are always more specific, but and as far as that other person, I mean, it could be later, it could be in the day, it could be around the same time, and it may not have been intentional either, or it could have been like, yeah, well, I want to talk about it, but it can turn around. That's the thing. A day where you're not, yeah. I know sometimes it can be very hard to see that and and feel into it, and tangible is a very helpful, important thing, and I have some tangible things coming up that I can foresee would be good. You know, I can't you know all the goodness for ahead of time and all the specifics, but I just know that it would be lovely. Um, Here's hoping everything goes smooth and we kind of get to have all that fun. But um, like if I'm to sit here and try and tell myself that that today is going to get better. Well, if I can actually fall asleep early, that way I can still decently fall asleep during my usual nap time because I'm old and I need my beauty sleep. That's not working. I don't know. I'm just kidding. But then that will help. See, if I was to stop this and end up uh, sleeping the next half hour, 40 minutes, unfortunately, that's only going to bring us to about 11 o'clock, 12 at the latest. And then I still got 4.5 hours, you know, before kind of the evening gets on. Um, the other chore that I have to, the chores that I have to do probably take about 30, half an hour as well. But then one after, I guess about an hour, but that's nothing I have to do during laundry, basically, um, will be put in the dryer. So that brings us to two or three, I guess, just in whatever order I do it in. I guess just kind of moseying around on here, online. Truth be told, though, like I say, even though I otherwise may feel alright, I don't really want to worry about it. I could try down here, but I did sleep pretty well, so I don't know. Mostly just because it's gloomy and I want the day to go by, and yeah. um, Somebody came in long enough to hear that. um, okay, well, that was as interesting as this seems to be. Well, that one I almost can't blame you. And the other thing too is when they get long, you would think more potential for them to do good. It's hit and miss. It's really hit and miss. As a lot of content creators know, and it's a weird phrase, isn't it? A lot of them do quite well most of the time. But it's true. The longer the content, the more likely people would think that it should be doing better than it's doing. And I agree, but I can't make it. You know, um, sometimes having more bells and whistles in a video could help. Honestly, it seems like sometimes it doesn't though, and I don't really know how to do a lot of that stuff at this point in time. I will say though that this new device is holding the battery charge quite well. We're at 67%, so I could muster up energy to do some song requests, um, but I don't really have the energy. People are just going to flash in for a few seconds and then leave. It's always going to be a red number, isn't it? And then the 12, and then the 13, and then the 14, and then the 15. um, and actually, that's today's date. And I think the person I live with birthday is tomorrow, but maybe it's today. So, anywho, um, yeah. And really are people that, I mean, you see it all the time on the internet. I mean, some people that you don't know that well, you pretty much only hear from on your birthday, or sometimes if you're really, you know, going through a hard time. Uh, or so, I would say though, a lot of people probably relate to the first a bit more, and it's kind of like it's lovely and it's nice, and maybe there's good valid reasons, person just really busy person, whatever. But at the same time, it's kind of like you don't otherwise. I know that strangers can wish people happy birthday. So that person that was there a moment ago, I hate to say it, but it's kind of an idiot for not doing so. But they're like, but just on the off chance that it's tomorrow, I'll come back tomorrow and say, possibly. Yeah, I just know that I was kind of meh. But if it is, we'll try to enjoy the evening, and either way, we will. And if it isn't, then we'll do that tomorrow. Have an interesting New Year for start, hopefully. But yeah, there was a surprising amount of sun a little earlier. It's went behind clouds again. It's that kind of day. I still don't know where the one with the keys is, but that's okay. I got my favorite ones, I believe. So the ones I most need. So yeah, so, that's kind of not. And then there's a bike more. I'm a little bit worried that radio might be getting picked up because it's a bit louder than I thought. Oh, he's been here already? Um, so with that worry and no other ideas and nothing much really transpiring here, we're gonna do this is that. I'm thinking that it's probably a good time to wrap up. And actually, yeah, I'm seeing triples where there's, and I'm sober, I promise. Where there's only doubles, which is funny. I was talking about that just the other day because I think I heard a song lyric that made me think of it. But yeah, okay. Anyway, so hopefully everybody has a good day, rest of your week, and I'm gonna wrap up. Bye. Take care.